Welcome in. This is Oops All Ghost, and we have a special guest today. Kevin, things are going to be a little different. You can see that I'm kind of doing like a pre-show thing. I'm going to try it out for the next couple episodes. Just give you a bit of description. We have Kevin here. He's going to share a couple stories about a deceased cat, as well as a girlfriend in the middle of the night waking to something in the corner, as well as stuff that happens in the cafeteria. I want to say thank you for everyone coming in. I'm so excited to share this interview. So, yeah, here we go. Welcome in. This is Oops All Ghost. Rob here hosting. We got a special live guest today, my good friend Kevin. I'm so excited to have another live guest here. So thank you, Kevin, for coming on. How are you doing today, buddy?
Very well. Thank you for having me on.
I'm just so excited. You came out telling me that you have a couple paranormal stories of your own, and I just can't wait to hear them. Would you like to hit the floor here?
Absolutely. I've had a couple spread out from a young age to even a more recent time. But a pretty quick out-of-the-way one is the most recent experience I had. A handful of years ago, I was working as the executive chef in a kitchen in a restaurant. And this restaurant was built in a old church. A very old, tiny church. More of a chapel, honestly. It could hold 50 people, was the max seating in the restaurant. And we did more of a fine dining style of cooking. There was just a lot of odd situations. Very classic ghost things, you know? There's only 2 people working at times, and food would be rung in, and I'd make it, call the only server out there, or the manager who's working as a server, and he didn't put it in. And so it's just like weird ghost chips, essentially, where someone ordered food, but the only 2 people there didn't do it. Supposedly.
So you'd have like these orders come out of nowhere?
Yeah, there was only one specific time that I can say I was in the room with the server, literally talking to him, my friend Ron. We're literally just talking in the kitchen, an order comes in, and I'm still looking at him talking, just reach over, grab it, look at it, and it has his name on the top of it, because it has the names of the servers on the top of the chips for when I call them, when it's ready. And he's like, I didn't order that, I'm standing right here. And so we, to this day, don't know where that came from, so it's just a weird mystery where quite a bit of food got wasted because of it, honestly. It really sucked.
So, like, you get these orders, and do you get to, like, have and eat them sometimes, you know? Like, what do you do with them?
Sometimes, but then the owner ended up putting in some rules to discourage that, and so, like, a lot of the times it ended up in the bin, which is just very sad to see because this pretty expensive food getting thrown out, so it was just sad, and I don't like it kept happening.
Yeah, like to see the food get wasted, you know, like what's happening? Is it a prank? Is it a spirit? Like, that just sucks to see, man.
Yeah, like if it was the only person who could have done it as a prank would have been the owner, who a lot of the times was the only other person there acting as the server, or he was the only person who had a code he could enter into the machine to like do whatever he wanted with it, basically. All the other employees were pretty limited on just how we punched in orders. So he's the only one who could kind of go in and mess with things for a prank, but then it was his money being wasted, and he was not one to waste money, so I couldn't see it being him.
So, like, did you guys ever have, like, a code name to be like, it's the ghost again?
The only time it was ever mentioned was the person I was talking about earlier, Ron. The first time it happened, he made the joke, it's a ghost chit, and that's what the term I now call it also. But that's the only time, was just a throwaway comment, ghost shit, and he swore a few times and then got rid of the food. And so, yeah, that's just the only time I've spoken to anyone about it, really, as like a ghost thing. But that's what I heard one other person call it, and I have no better way to explain it, so.
It's really interesting, you know, like the scanner's picking up these orders and where they're coming from, you know, like, does it pick up like one of those spirit boxes, or, you know, like, is there something else, or are you getting a different transmission from a different restaurant?
Yeah, I don't know, but
what is
other
it?
than that, there is just a bunch of other, like I said, kind of more typical things, like I would close up and be the last person there. I know I turned everything off. I also open the next morning a lot of the time, and things would be turned on again. And then I'd text the owner, the only other person who has a key to the building, again, the only other person who could be fucking with me if someone was fucking with me. And he told me no. So, I mean, taking him on his word, little things like that were little mysteries the entire way as well, which was pretty strange. Just, I don't know, it was weird. Like, I ended up, like, having meetings about it because a lot of the things were, like, a deep fryer would be on. And I can't have gas burners going while no one's in the building. That's a pretty big safety hazard. So, like, it just kept happening, and I don't know why.
To have these, like, little interactions and stuff, you know, like, it really makes you question what's going on.
Yeah, but it was an old building, and we had pretty modern equipment for the most part. The only way the oldness of the building showed was in kind of just the layout of the kitchen. It was not very, it didn't flow well, and we even had our kitchen separated on 2 different floors. And so I got a hell of a workout going up and down 2 floors constantly all day. I mean, probably good for my exercise routine, but it sucked.
That's like, I'm already getting enough cardio here, thanks.
Yeah, but no, the equipment was good, and like I said, I had multiple checkout routines with all the other employees. A lot of the times there's me myself doing it as the last person there and the first person the next day. And it just, yeah, things were just left on. Simple lights, sometimes a deep fryer or an oven, like, is weird. But, oh well, I don't have an explanation for it, so, yeah.
Yeah, like, how do you explain that? You know, like, you close, make sure everything's off, and then you come back in, and you're saying, like, there's burners still going? Like, how do you explain that?
Yeah. So, that's the most recent one, and pretty most uneventful, other than just weird machines acting up. One that didn't happen to me, but I was witness to, happened to me while I was in college. I was dating a girl, and we were both living on campus at the time, and we were hanging out in her dorm room, so just this tiny room, big enough for a bed and a desk. And we were just hanging out. I think we were about to watch a movie, and she began to freak out. I asked what was wrong pretty promptly, as she started to quite literally scream. And she's like, "It's here, it's here." I'm like, "What are you talking about?" She's looking kind of past me, so I turn and look at just a wall that's behind me. And she just doesn't say anything, just keeps kind of screaming and kind of whimpering at this point on her bed. And I end up asking, "What do you see?" And she just says, "It's there," and points at kind of like the top corner in the room, kind of where the wall meets the ceiling. I'm like, "I don't see anything there. Like, how can I help you? What can I do?" I was more concerned as to, like, why she was so upset. She saw something. I don't know what it was.
Was it like a loud, like, scream or like a soft wail?
Started out incredibly loud, like a full-on scream, but then by the time I was like, she's pointing at a corner in the room, and I was kind of talking to her, but it was definitely like a whimper, but still a bit of a cry, and it was very weird, and I had no fucking clue what was happening. So I ended up kind of just like going to her, like stepped in front of her so she could basically only see me. And I'm like, "I don't know what you see. Why don't we leave the room?" And she's like, no, we can't. I'm like, "Okay, what if you just don't see it?" I'm like, "Close your eyes." And she's like, "I can't, because then I just see it while my eyes are closed." I'm like, "What is it?" She's like, "I don't know." And then I'm like, "Okay, just hang out with me." I got closer to her. We were basically like face to face. Yeah, I'm like, "Just let's talk about something. Let's do anything to get your mind off this." Didn't know what the hell was going on. And then she said that my eyes looked like its. And then she hid under the covers.
So she said your eyes are on it, like a whole Jeepers Creepers situation.
Yeah, I haven't seen those movies in forever. I need to rewatch those. But yeah, so this girl just freaked out like that. And this is someone that, like, I'd known, we dated for about a year at this point. Like, nothing weird had happened. I wouldn't describe her as a weird or strange person at all. So to have this come out of nowhere was really weird. Eventually she calmed down. And I just comforted her in the way anyone would. And then eventually later on, wanted to know what the hell that was about. So tried to think about a polite way to ask. And then just went forward and asked, "So, what was that?" And the most I got out of her was she very briefly kind of told me that since she was a young girl, every now and then she sees something. And she described it as a dog, but not a dog.
What was she seeing? Like a dog that's not a dog?
Yes. That is what I got out of her. Something that she's seen occasionally since childhood. And she said it was a dog, but not a dog.
Man, that'd be scary. Like a grown-up screaming in the middle of the night
and
saying this.
Like a dog, but not a dog. But it was also on the ceiling, like a spider dog. And I don't know. It was weird. I asked her a couple more times, and she just said, "I don't want to talk about it." Like that was later on, like a few months later. I'm like, "Hey, remember that thing that happened? Like, got any more details or like things about your childhood when you said you saw it?" And she's like, "I don't want to talk about it." And it wasn't very long after that our relationship fell apart a bit, and I don't talk to her anymore. So I don't have any details beyond that. So that was just really fucking weird, and I have no explanation. I was standing in a room with someone who I swear genuinely thought they were seeing something.
It kind of reminds me of like Icarus, you know, the Egyptian god.
Yeah.
And she wouldn't talk to you about it? Like, it sounds like you guys were together for a while.
Yeah, no, like, I got the little bit of information about it being from her childhood a bit in the description, but then, like, that night, we just did something else. I just figured give it time or wait or something, and yeah, I just never got anything else out of it. So...
to hear your partner, like, go through that and just be screaming and not tell you anything, like, that's gotta hit differently. Like, that's like another set of adrenaline rush when you hear a grown-up scream.
Yeah, so, like, for a while, I still think about it clearly as I'm telling the story now. I've tried to think about what could have happened or what it could have been. One, a very realistic thing is this person and I, our relationship fell apart due to a lot of lies coming out. And so I no longer talk to this person and see this person because they are a very known liar to me. They lied, they manipulated, and it fell apart pretty messily. So although it is a completely unrelated subject, this person, at least as far as a character, I know to be a liar. And so the fact that she could have made it up is obviously possible, but I have no goddamn clue what she could have gained by doing that. Like, I try to think what did she benefit from that? And there's nothing. I got nothing. If she was the one to have just pulled it out of her ass, there's nothing she benefited from doing that. So it's just really weird if that's the case. And then I don't know what the other option could be. So
yeah,
the lies and stuff were very much a part of who she was, which is why I ended up leaving her. Yeah, I don't know.
So you were saying you have one more story to share with us, and this one actually involves you younger. Do you want to share it?
This one involved me, and this is probably my most, like, I want to use the word intense, but it was not intense by any means, but my most, like, my direct firsthand, like, I'm pretty sure this was something experience, but I also have a good explanation to disprove it at the end as well. But what the story is this happened when I was about 10 years old. It proceeded after the death or passing of a cat that I was incredibly attached to. This cat and I grew up together, and it bonded with me. Basically, if I was at home, it was my shadow with me, on me, and I loved every second of this cat. It was an amazing friend and companion. It ended up getting old and having a stroke, and we made the decision that it ended up needing to be put down. Its life was at its end, and we all got to say goodbye to it. But it was a pretty rough time for me in my life, both in high school, or not high school, but like just before high school, and also just with a bunch of family stuff going on. It was a pretty negative time for me, and then to lose a companion like that was really rough. And then the thing that ended up happening was shortly after, I don't know exactly how many days or if it was a week, but I noticed that when I started going to sleep, in bed in the complete dark. I had blackout curtains. I like to sleep in complete darkness. I would straight up feel a cat jump up onto my bed, step around me, find a spot, circle around me a bit, find a spot, and curl up into a ball, and I would feel the pressure of a cat on me. We had another cat at the time, and so I reached over to pet, and there was no cat there. Like, oh, that was weird. Maybe she jumped off when I moved. Yeah. But it kept happening, and it happened when I shut my door and made sure the other cat wasn't there. And so the entire experience is, for a long time, almost every night, I would go to sleep, and I swear to God, I felt the pressure of a cat walking around me, choosing a spot to lie down, and then staying there. And I would feel it until I fell asleep, and then I would wake up and start my day. It got so much to the point that it wasn't a light pressure. My cat was a fat tabby. It left big footprints walking around me. Not left footprints, but pressure. It got so much to the point where I swear I believed it was it. I even just, if I was awake and really noticing it, which I was most nights, I'd even start saying goodnight to it. Because at that point, I was missing an important companion in my life. And I didn't know what the fuck this was. So I just rolled with it. I lied there, kept my eyes closed, because it did exactly what my cat did while it was alive. The exact same movements, it chose the same spots, and in the exact same mannerisms. As much as, I guess, a snuggly cat could be different from another snuggly cat.
Wow, so actually, like, feeling it on your bed, like, did you ever notice the imprints while you were sleeping? You know, like, yeah, your family friend come back, but, like, to see it.
No, because there was only the one time I reached out near the first time I reached out to try to feel if it was the other cat. Maybe I did it a couple more times to make sure it wasn't the other cat. But no, I never, like, checked for little footprints on the bed or anything, because at that point I'd slept the whole night and I toss and turn and all that, so I wouldn't be on a blanket, I don't think. But anyways, I just rolled with it, and kind of it comforted me, and I just kind of liked it. I don't even think I opened up my eyes to look to see if anything was there other than the checks with the hands. So throughout all of it, I don't think I actually opened up my eyes and looked at the spot where I felt the pressure. I liked it because I kind of needed it, and that brings me to and it eventually ended. After like a month or two, it ended up stopping. I ended up kind of going into high school eventually, and that took a lot of my time, and I stopped noticing it. And I've moved on since then. My explanation for it, other than it being the ghost of my cat, is that I am very well aware of the power of our own minds, especially if bad things are going on and you're in a negative spot. Even just with like something like the placebo effect, our minds can do crazy things. So it's by no means beyond the idea that my mind did that to myself as a way of coping or giving myself a little bit of comfort. I would totally believe that is the reasoning behind that also. Not necessarily ghost, but just me, basically my senses giving me what I needed to help cope with something at the time, a loss.
Either way, that's so cool. You know, whether it is like your cat coming back or your brain trying to process through what's happening.
It's a blurry ass line. Like, that's why, I want to believe in these things, but when I tell people if I'm a believer or not, I say I fall on the skeptic side of things, just because things like that. Like, I can't believe in Bigfoot because I more so believe in the power of our minds and to fuck with our memories or what we see because it's dark out, like that kind of thing. So I'm a bit on the skeptic side, but those are my experiences nonetheless. Those are things that I, one way or another, can't definitively say it's this or that. So
welcome to the end of the podcast. Thanks for sticking around all the way to the end. Once again, awesome times sharing these stories. Like, hearing these people tell these stories has honestly been like an amazing experience for me. So I want to thank Kevin for coming and all previous guests. If you would like to be part of the show, hit me up at oopsallghosts@gmail.com or any social platform with the DMs. Feel free to hit me there. I want you guys on. I want to hear these spooky stories because me personally, I don't want to go out and experience this stuff. I do want to hear about it though. It's been an amazing time. So if you're enjoying this and you made it this far, please hit that subscribe button. And it really helps the channel grow and allows me to do this thing as a project, you know? Yeah. Things were a little different because when I was recording, like when I do live stuff at my house, you know, like one-on-one interviews now over Discord, it's kind of funny and I'm having troubles having 2 microphones set up. So I don't know what to do there till I figure out how to fix it. So some of the voices, a little me going back over and just try to edit it. So hopefully it's good. I hope that first part there kind of helps let people kind of go through a little bit longer. Anyways, guys, stay spooky. Rob out.